Oh boy, I did not want to wake up to this news this morning. There's really no spin to this that makes this good news at all, but let's get right into it. Aniplex announced they acquired anime production company Egg Firm, the owners of Mushoku Tensei and SAO, and here is the other stuff that they have worked on as well. They have done Shimoneta, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, Gate, UQ Holder, Knights in Magic, more Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. They've done a bunch of different stuff. You can see it right here. They even have Ruri Rocks right here. They have Kino's Journey, SAO, A Cell World. Yeah, you get the point. But the big ones that are standing out here besides SAO is Mushoku Tensei, as you can see. They are the owners of Studio Bind. You can see it right here. This is like, their subsidiaries. You can see it right here, Studio Bind. And now that Aniplex has officially bought them, they are now owned by Aniplex, which in turn, Aniplex is owned by Sony Pictures, as you can see. This means that Mushoku Tensei is now a Sony-owned property, and I think everybody knows what I'm about to get into. So let's segue right into this announcement. So, Sony has been kind of not really trying to hide it for the last few years, but they have been gaining quite a bit of a monopoly when it comes to the anime space. They have gained Right Stuff, Funimation, Crunchyroll, and various other different properties and stuff over the years. They bought, a big percentage of Kadokawa last year. It has been quite an obvious thing going on for a while now that, Sony is gaining a monopoly over anime and manga and merchandise as well. And more or less, if you don't mess with Sony products, you're not going to be able to get any legal product in the West. Now, obviously, people are going to say they're going to pirate and stuff. Obviously, that's going to be a comment. But the point of the matter is that it's still not good that Sony has a mass monopoly and they're gaining more monopolies by the day. This is once again that continuous domino effect in progression of what they have been obviously doing. Everybody can see it for years now. And unless there's someone that puts like a stop sign in front of them and the government stops this, it's just gonna keep getting worse. And the reason why this is more or less continuing to happen is because anime, even though it's very mainstream, it's, become very big as a market within the entertainment industry around the world, anime still isn't as tapped into as, let's say, the movie industry, like live-action films, TV shows that are live-action, the cartoon industry, and even the gaming industry. Anime is still an industry that is growing, so to speak. And not every company has fully dug in their roots into anime and manga to really have a say on it and fight back against the monopoly, because Sony has been actively doing this and having a head start at it for a very long time when they bought Funimation and then bought Crunchyroll. So now that they're doing this, there's not really a lot of people that can fight back against them, honestly, because they have a lot of the licensing and a lot of the rights. There's only a few companies that really can compete with them at this point, which is Toho, which is the rival to Aniplex, and which works with Netflix at this point. But it doesn't change the fact. The point is that Sony has been getting in deep with companies that, have light novels, merchandise as well. Kadokawa is a good example of that. They own a lot of different things, a lot of different games as well that I've talked about already many times in other videos, so I'm not gonna, say it once again. The point of the matter is that this announcement comes as a shock. Everybody is talking about this now in the last 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and so let's just read this statement by Egg Firm themselves. Notice regarding the establishment of a wholly owned subsidiary. We are pleased to announce that Egg Firm Co. has become a wholly owned subsidiary of Aniplex Inc. There will be no changes to the content of our business operations from what they have been previously. Through the collaboration between the two companies, we will make the most of the group's management resources and contribute to the further development of the anime industry. Now, this statement right here is very corpo. Come on. Obviously, when a company is bought out by another company, they're going to make a statement like this to reassure investors, to reassure people that have stocks within the company, reassure the public. It's more or less just a PR corpo move to reassure people that everything that's been going on with the company is going to mostly remain the same. Most likely the CEOs, the employees, everything is going to be more or less the same, probably for the first year or two. But the problem is that we have seen these statements over and over again from many different companies and many different industries where they say this, and then in 6 months' time from now, maybe a year from now, you start to see a radical shift in difference with the company from what it once was. And now that they have been completely bought out and are now owned by Aniplex, I am more concerned now about the management of a lot of these different properties that Egg Firm has had. In particular, when you take a look at what they have on their track record, on their books, they have a lot of ecchi series. They do. They have Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, which, if you have watched that, you know there's a lot of fan service in it. Even SAO has fan service. Anyone knows that. It has also content people would deem problematic in 2026. One of the big shockers is Anime, which they now have, and if you have looked into Anime, you know for a fact how people feel about that series too. It's also Mushoku Tensei. I mean, Mushoku Tensei speaks for itself. And this is the one that really does concern me out of all of them. It's because Mushoku Tensei is a series that garners, and just let's be completely blunt, let's rip the band-aid off, it's deemed problematic by a lot of people, tourists in general, but people deem it problematic, you're cringe, weird, or whatever if you watch this type of show. People will go as far as to say you're a criminal if you watch this show and support it. But the point of the matter is that Crunchyroll has had Mushoku Tensei, Season 1 and Season 2 on their platform. Nothing necessarily changes. The problem I have is Crunchyroll's been very apparent with how they handle their properties, certain properties. I've recently talked about ReZero and how they handled ReZero, and Mushoku Tensei is more or less in the same bracket, but I think a little bit worse. Mushoku Tensei is definitely treated a lot worse than ReZero in terms of how Crunchyroll advertises things. I think that they do literally next to nothing when it comes to advertisement for Mushoku Tensei. They never really talk about it when it is trending within that given season of anime when Season 1 and Season 2 came out. And in fact, they snub it from all their award ceremonies. They refuse to even allow it to be in the awards ceremony. They split it, or they make it really weird to where no one's going to vote for it. So it's been very apparent for a long time that they don't like this property. They only have it just to make money off of it, and they don't want to really represent it. They don't want an advertisement or anything. They have it just to make money off of people that like the show, and that's it. But they don't want to do anything extra for it. And it runs in a very similar way as what's happening to ReZero. And I just don't like how now Sony is in control of these properties, and that Sony now is going to be able to dictate, you know, what is going to get marketed or not, especially after what we have seen them do with some properties as well through Crunchyroll. So this overall, I don't think is really good news at all. Even though Egg Firm wanted to say that, you know, nothing's going to change, and, you know, we could take this at face value and say, yeah, maybe nothing will change. I don't like the fact that even if nothing does change, I don't like the fact that Sony has control over this. I don't. Because it is another big nail in the coffin of a monopoly that is continuing to grow. And there is, at this point, not much I really think could stop this, besides, like, some form of government intervention, honestly. Because they're just too big at this point. They have too much. They have way too much now. It's like, they're too big to fail. That's basically what it is. They have so much material, so much content under their belt. They have such a stranglehold on everything entering into other countries. There's no one that can really compete. And, I mean, we've seen what's happened recently with High Dive. High Dive has not been doing so hot. They haven't. They've had to do some partnerships with Crunchyroll as of late. And I've already talked about this, that it's only a matter of time until High Dive is bought out, or they shut their doors. And I see that very soon, especially with more stuff like this happening. I mean, literally series for High Dive is being eaten away by them into Crunchyroll's banner. So, yeah. Anyways, to make a long story short, I think that this is not a really good thing to wake up to. People might think that this is a nothing burger or whatever, but in reality, it is pretty big. Like, this might not be as big of a move as, like, the Katakawa deal, or, you know, with Crunchyroll, Funimation, right stuff. But I think, in general, this is, once again, another step in that inevitable future of that full-blown monopoly. I mean, they already do, but you get the point. I will leave it at that, though. I just briefly wanted to cover this because I feel like a lot of people will be unaware of it. But get ready for potentially censorship of Mushoku Tensei. And not just Mushoku Tensei, I mean SAO and other properties as well. So expect that one. Do expect that one, probably. I mean, with how it's managed already, yeah. Anyways, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Be safe, stay healthy, leave a like on this video. It would help me out a lot. I would appreciate it. And please subscribe if you enjoy my content. Chibi out.